We know, don't we, there's no such thing as magic. It doesn't exist. It's all sleight of hand, illusion, and from the magician's point of view, a lot of hard work and practice to give the illusion of magic. And you might think, oh, why is he talking about magicians? Well, simple reason is I see a lot of posts on Facebook and stroke survivors groups online and so on, where newbies, as I call them, new stroke survivors say things like, oh, is there anything I can do to make myself better? Is there some kind of medication that I can take? Is there a pill I can take? And of course, the short answer is no, there isn't. There are no shortcuts to making improvements after stroke. That's the brutal reality of it. We can't lie in bed and get better as we might if we were, say, recovering from a bad cold or some kind of flu or maybe food poisoning or something like that, where we know that we're going to be better in 10 days time, a couple of weeks time or whatever. And similarly, if we have surgery for something, we have appendicitis and we have our appendix removed, we know that we're going to be better in a certain period of time. If we break a limb, we may need to do some physiotherapy. I think you find most people probably don't do enough physiotherapy and therefore never quite get back to where they were before, but good enough for doing whatever it is that they want to do. So I just wanted to address this issue that there is no such thing as magic. As much as we would like to be able to take a pill and have the brain damage remarkably disappear, it's not going to happen. I used to play a reasonable amount of golf as and when I could, and my regular golfing buddy would always say to me, just play the ball as it lies. Meaning, that's where it is, you're not allowed to move it, deal with it. And that's very much, I think, the case for brain injury recovery. It's like, this is what it is, deal with it. Which is very brutal, I know, but that's kind of the reality. It's down to us. The only way we're going to make improvements is by us putting the work in. Physio can't do it for us. They can guide us. They can offer experience. They can offer tips, techniques, try this, try that, how about this? But they can't actually do the work. The work's got to come from within us. It's our own individual motivation and circumstances that will either drive us forward to do more work, to try and make more improvements, or it won't. Talking about golf a few seconds ago, there's a great story about the South African golfer Gary Player, who was a fantastic major player in the no pun intended, in the 1960s. And he got a kind of reputation as being lucky. It's a bit like saying Tiger Woods is lucky. And he was asked on one occasion by a journalist, how do you feel about being called lucky, having just won another major tournament? And he said, it's a funny thing, he said, but I've noticed the more I practice, the more work I put in, the luckier I get. And that stuck in my head with making improvements after stroke, because the more work you put in, the more improvements you make. It's not luck, is it? No. Recommendation for you, this book, Stronger After Stroke, by a guy called Peter Levine. I think that's how it's Levine, what, I don't know, I would say Levine. Stronger After Stroke. Thoroughly recommend you get this book. I've probably read it about 3 times. I haven't read it for a few years. I've got it out for this video, but also because I want to read it again. One of the things he mentions in the book is that in his experience, and he's been working with stroke survivors for 20-25 years, brain injury survivors too, the thing that he says is that in his experience, which is pretty vast, the folk that make the best improvements following stroke and brain injury are athletes and musicians. Just let that sit with you a little bit. And he then explains the reasons why. And it's simply because athletes and musicians are used to putting a lot of work in to their field, whatever it happens to be, in my case drumming, but putting a lot of work into their field, but only making minor improvements over a very long period of time. So they have the mental discipline to be, if they're, let's say, a 100-meter runner, they're talking about, hundredths of a second, trying to make improvements of 100th of a second, get that time down, get that time. What can I do? Could I move my blocks slightly differently when I start? Am I coming up out of the blocks too soon? Do I need to actually come out after 50 meters, not 40 meters? Musician is playing away on the guitar, learning their scales and their chords, getting their fingers to move in the right place. David Beckham, the soccer player, was known for being a fantastic free kick taker. I think England, Greece, Euro qualification, I forget the year. Anyway, last minute of the game, England rewarded a free kick outside the Greek area. Beckham lines up the free kick. He has to score for England to go through. I think it was something like that anyway. Curls it right over the wall into the top corner. Now, going back to my Gary Player analogy, you could say, well, it's lucky, wasn't it? But apparently, he would be first on the training pitch, practicing his free kicks. They have a wall, cardboard, metal cut out of sort of half a dozen figures that you prop up wherever you want it, and then you just practice curling your free kick around it, aiming for the top corner, whatever. And then when everybody had finished training, he'd still be there practicing. Wasn't magic, wasn't luck, it was hard work. Yes, of course it was skill, but it was also hard work. And when you see a top athlete or top musician, it's because they've put the work in. Yes, they need some natural ability. Yes, they need some natural skill, but they also have to put the work in. Natural skill won't get you there. You have to put the work in. So whether it's a drummer sitting there learning paradiddles, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, double paradiddles, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, triple paradiddles, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, whatever it is, it's born about by putting the work in. That's how you make improvements. A lot of work over a long period of time to make small improvements that add up over time to big improvements. So we can think to ourselves, God, why did this happen to me? What have I done to deserve this? But I don't think it's fair. It's not. And we can spend a lot of time thinking about, well, why? They can't tell me. I've asked the doctors. They don't know why it happened. But it did. So all the whys and wherefores, we probably don't know. A clot formed somewhere back here. Why? Because it did. The issue now is, this is the here and now. What do I do? What can I do in order to move me away from where I am and more towards where I want to be? That's my responsibility, and I need to take 100% responsibility for that. Yes, a physio can help. Yes, an occupational therapist to help. Yes, a clinical psychologist can help, but they can't do the work. Only I can do the work. And somewhere I have to find within me the motivation and the strength, as much mental as physical, to put that work in, because there is no such thing as magic. So it's tragic what's happened to us. It's sad, but it's happened. It's done. We can't go back. We can spend a lot of time looking back and going, oh, I really want my old life back again. Yeah, of course. I really want to be able to do the things that I used to do before. Of course. But we can't. Not right yet. Anyway, maybe we can if we put the work in. And we're not talking about weeks or months. We're probably talking about years. That's the kind of time scale that we're looking at. Again, in his book, Peter Levine talks a lot about different phases of recovery, chronic phases, sort of acute phases, then the chronic phases, and all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of good stuff in there. The real world stuff. Not, I know that some people have been told by their medical professionals, oh yeah, you'll make a full recovery. How dare they? They have no idea. The true answer is you've got a brain injury. Nobody really knows what the future holds. So you've got to kind of grasp the nettle and say, oh, I'll decide what the future holds, actually. Experts, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, but actually, I'm in charge. It's down to me. Or, as to be more accurate, it's down to you.